we will learn how to plot data from a CSV file into Python Spyder. For example, this is a CSV file where we have several parameters: length, width, and height. And based on these values, we can calculate area, which is basically multiplication of length and width, and also volume, multiplication of length, width, and height. For example, say we want to plot this volume against the independent variables length, width, and height. So this can be done in two parts. First, we'll have to import this data set into Python, and in the second step we have to plot it. So let's start. So our purpose is to plot volume data against independent variables. Let's just clear up my variables length, width, and height. So the first step is to import the values of the data set in the CSV file. So for that, we basically have to use this function. So the Excel file is basically named as volume. So I have just written the volume, the part name, the file name, and then followed by the format. And now this function actually comes from the library panda, the module. So this one first we'll have to import, otherwise it's gonna show an error, as it is our alias. So now we can check if it's working properly. So far, sorry, so this is df, and no, it's not working because this is gonna be underscore. So yeah, now it's working. So we can see this dataset here. And the second step would be to slice the values of the length, width, and height from this dataset into and put it into one variable. So let's consider a variable x to store the independent variables length, width, and height. So x is gonna be length, width, height. Okay, so we can also print this one. Take it out and here, and this one, if we print, yeah, we can see after we have been able to successfully print this variable and define this variable. We just has this these three parameters, the independent variables length, width, and height. So we have successfully sliced it from the data set. Now similarly, we can we can define another variable to say y to store the dependent variable, which is the volume. Y is volume. Let's see if we can print this. Yeah, so we have been able to define this variable as well. We have just this volume data. So now that we have defined both these variables, it's also important to understand in which format we want this data in, so that we can plot them. So for plotting, so we have to, so gonna we are gonna perform the scatter plotting for this. So this is the function that we can use for the scatter plot. And first we'll have to know this is the uh, this function we actually can call when we import the matplotlib.pyplot as plt. So now we can basically use this one to plot the variables, but it's also important. So here the parameters that goes inside this function will have to pass the arrays, basically two arrays, one from the independent and one from the dependent. But our values that we get in as x and y, these are not array we can see. These are just data values. We have split it from the original data set, but we'll have to first convert these into arrays. So this is number one condition. The second condition is the size of the dependent variable and independent variable has to be same. So let's start with the first one. We'll have to split this into we have to convert it into an array. So let's just go here and say x length is equal to, we define this variable and we're gonna convert our variable x into an array. X1, sorry. So first we'll have to convert the whole variable into an array. So for that we'll have to use the array function, which we can get from the numpy library. So we'll have to import the numpy library as import okay, and then if we run it, it's showing error because scatter missing. Okay, so this one will have to, let's comment it out for now, control 1. And then if we plot it, if we run it, we see that we have the variable x1, which is an array, a two-dimensional array. So a two-dimensional array is basically an array that has 2 dimensions. So this is indicated by this two square brackets. So here, if we want to get one particular element here, we'll have to define two indexes from outer 2D dimension to the 1D dimension, and then another index from 1D dimension to the inner to the element, to the scalar value. So for this, this can be shown as an example. For example, say we have this, we define our length variable, which is x1. So here, we define this variable because we want to find an array that will have only the length values, which are basically the first column, this one, only this one. uh, we want as in the form of an array. So how can we access this value and create an array? So for that, we'll have to first understand how the slicing works for an array. So say we want to access the first value 1. Instead of thinking that we want the all this all the column, we just want this variable to be printed. And for that, we'll have to we'll have to first go from outer bracket to inside bracket. So when we go from the outer bracket to inside bracket, we will have all these variables, all these elements. So for example, x0 is this one. The first index would be this one. The second index would be this one. The third index would be this one. Fourth, fifth, like this way. So when we define from outer to inner, from the 2D to 1D, when we want to move, if we put a number 0, it means we we constrain our flexibility to just this one element when we go from the second dimension to the first dimension. And then we can only choose the variables, we only choose the elements from this array. So we can then we can decide which index we want. Index 0 means 1, index 2 means index 0 means 1, index 1 means 2, and index 2 means 3. So we want, say, just this value, so we'll have to put 0. So say now if we print this, we'll have 1, which we wanted to print. This value we have got. And now what if we want to get both this value 1 and 2, both this value in our array? We don't want just 1, we want both the values. So for that, we'll have to give more flexibility to the first parameter we provide. So to the first parameter, we'll have to provide more range so that we don't restrict us just to the first index element. So here we'll have to put 2. 2 means when we go from the outer dimension to the inner dimension, we are gonna have this. We're gonna restrict our range to these two elements. So 0 to 2. 0 to 2, it doesn't include the ending index, which is 2. It's just considered the first two index, 0 and 1. 2 it doesn't consider. So, and then when we decide that we are gonna use 0, so it's gonna take the first element of the first element of this array and then the first element of this array as well, and it will print 1 and 2. It will create an array of 1 and 2. So let's show this. Yeah, so when we print it, we can see this. Similarly, if we want all these values as an array, we'll have to provide flexibility, or we'll have to broaden our range when we go from outer dimension to the inner dimension. We'll have to include all these elements until here. So here we have total 11 elements. So we'll have to put 12 because it will only consider 0 to no, it's the 11 because we have 11 elements. Sorry, my bad. And yeah, so when we print, we can see that we have all the values we want, and so this is basically excellent that we wanted. So say we have thousand of data instead of 11, then it's really a task. It will be a task to find out what should be the ending value. So we can avoid that by removing both the starting and ending value. If we remove both the starting and ending values, it means that it's considering from the start to the end. Yeah. So mm, so similarly, we can get one for the width and one for the height. One for the height. So it's gonna be 1, and this is gonna be 2. So we print this, show you length array, width array. This is gonna be width h gt. Yeah, so here we have all these three arrays all separated, and and we'll have to also convert this volume into an array as well, the y value. So let's do it here. Y1 is equal to yeah, see, so we have variable all this variable expressed in array. And now for plotting, we have all the arrays. The second thing, we'll have to make sure that they have the same length. So we can also print the lengths. Len So see, we have also printed the value of the length, and all the lengths are same. So the condition of this scatter plot is we'll have to make sure that we pass array number one, and number two is the length of the variables. Those arrays are same. So say we first plot the length and the volume against the length. So see here we have the plot. Similarly, we can plot the other two. Yeah, see we have this all defined, and we can also, if we want, we can define the color. Let's keep it like this, and we can first show how to define the axis. So this can be done by the dimension volume. Yeah, so we have this all plotted in terms of dimension and volume, but we also want the legends to be printed on the plot. This can be done by my battle have to first write this way: length width height. We can also add the get current axis here. It basically gets the current axis, make it more precise. So yeah, this way we can plot data from the Excel file. We have all this data, and we can plot a dependent variable in terms of the independent variables.